Beloved souls of the living earth, I am Zadkiel, keeper of the violet flame of transmutation. I come to you at this hour of awakening to speak of freedom, not the fleeting freedom of outer circumstance, but the deeper freedom of the soul. This freedom blossoms when you release the bonds of old contracts, both personal and collective, that no longer serve your evolution. Through the power of transmutation, you can reset the patterns that have bound you, opening the way for new expressions of harmony, purpose, and love. Many of you feel as though invisible threads from the past tug at your present steps. You may wonder why certain challenges repeat themselves in your life, why particular dynamics in relationships persist, why emotions rise in familiar waves even when circumstances have changed. These repetitions are often signs of unexamined agreements, energetic contracts entered long ago, perhaps in other phases of your journey as a soul, or inherited through ancestral patterns, or unconsciously shaped by your early experiences. They are not punishments, they are lessons awaiting their moment of completion. An old contract is not merely a memory. It is a vibrational imprint that attracts situations resonant with its frequency. For example, a contract forged in fear may draw to you circumstances that mirror fear until you recognize the pattern and choose a higher response. A contract rooted in sacrifice may perpetuate cycles of giving without receiving until you awaken to the need for balance. These contracts persist not because they have authority over you but because your own energy still holds them in place. When you acknowledge them and release them, their hold dissolves. The violet flame is a living current of light that embodies the energy of forgiveness and transformation. It does not destroy what has been, it lifts the dense vibration of unresolved patterns into a higher octave where they are reconfigured as wisdom. Imagine a violet fire that is cool to the touch, a luminous presence that does not burn but liberates. This flame is not separate from you, it is a quality of the divine source that you can invoke and embody. When you call upon it with sincere intent, you open a channel for its transformative power to flow through your mind, heart, and subtle bodies. The process of releasing old contracts begins with awareness. Take time to reflect gently on the repeating themes in your life. Notice where you feel stuck, where your reactions seem automatic, where your choices are driven more by fear, guilt, or duty than by genuine inspiration. Do not judge yourself for these patterns. Approach them with curiosity, as you would a puzzle whose pieces you are ready to assemble. Awareness shines light into the hidden corners of the psyche, making it possible to see what has long operated in shadow. Once you have recognized a pattern that feels like an old contract, bring it into your heart and contemplate its origin. Perhaps it arose from a vow you made in another time to protect yourself or others, perhaps it was shaped by the survival needs of your ancestors, perhaps it formed in childhood as a way to secure love or approval. Whatever its origin, honor the fact that it once served a purpose. Thank it for the role it played in your growth. Gratitude softens resistance and opens the gateway to release. Now you are ready to invoke the violet flame. You may do so in words such as these: Beloved violet flame, presence of divine transmutation, I invite you to enter this pattern that I have carried. I release it into your care. Transform the energy of this contract into light, freeing me and all involved from its hold. Let the wisdom gained remain as a jewel in my heart, and let all else dissolve into love. Speak with sincerity, whether aloud or in the quiet of your soul. Visualize the pattern as a shape or a knot or a scroll dissolving into violet radiance, its dense strands loosening and becoming clear. The reset that follows is not an erasure of your history, it is the integration of the lessons into your present awareness so that you no longer need to replay the same dramas. Like a field left fallow after a long season of harvest, your inner being becomes fertile for new possibilities. Freed from the pull of old contracts, you can make choices based on inspiration rather than compulsion, guided by the higher wisdom of your soul. Collective humanity, too, is in a time of releasing old contracts. Across generations, societies have lived under agreements shaped by conquest, by rigid hierarchies, by beliefs of separation and limitation. These agreements have created systems that no longer resonate with the unfolding vision of cooperation and respect for life. The turbulence you witness in many places is partly the shaking loose of these outdated contracts. The violet flame can be invoked not only by individuals but also by communities and nations, to transmute the dense residues of conflict and mistrust and to open space for new forms of collaboration. Understand that the process of transmutation is often accompanied by a period of uncertainty. As old patterns dissolve, there may be a feeling of emptiness, a questioning of identity, a pause before the new directions become clear. This is natural. It is the stillness of the chrysalis before the butterfly emerges. Trust that the void is fertile. Trust that by releasing what was, you create room for what is aligned with your true nature to unfold. During such times, it is helpful to cultivate practices that anchor you in presence. Simple breathing with awareness, time spent in nature, moments of silent gratitude, acts of kindness freely given, these ground the shifting energies and remind you of the constancy of the living world. The violet flame itself responds to these practices, becoming more radiant as you attune yourself to peace. Some may ask, how do I know that an old contract has been released? The signs are subtle yet real: a lightness in the heart where there was heaviness, a sense of expanded possibility where there was constriction, a new response of compassion where there was resentment, an openness to opportunity where there was fear. These shifts may arise gradually, like dawn light spreading over the horizon, or they may come in a moment of insight that changes your perspective entirely. Trust your inner sense of liberation. I speak also of forgiveness, for it is at the heart of transmutation. Forgiveness is not forgetting harm or denying injustice, it is the decision to release the energy of blame, thereby unbinding yourself and others from the cycles of retaliation and guilt. The violet flame carries the essence of forgiveness. When you forgive, you align yourself with that essence, and you help dissolve the old contracts that keep wounds alive. In this era of awakening, many of you feel called to assist others in their journeys of release and reset. Remember that you cannot do the work for another, but you can hold a field of compassion and invoke the violet flame on their behalf. Your intention and presence create a space of safety in which others may choose to let go. In this way, each person's healing contributes to the collective evolution. To engage in a violet flame reset is not to escape from responsibility but to step into a more authentic responsibility, the responsibility to act from clarity rather than from old reactive patterns. It enables you to respond to challenges with creativity, to participate in relationships with genuine reciprocity, to approach the world's needs with steady purpose rather than with inherited scripts of fear or domination. Beloved ones, you live in a time when many contracts are ready to be dissolved. The very frequency of your planet is rising, making dense patterns more visible and thus more available for transformation. This is a great opportunity. Do not be dismayed by the surfacing of old wounds or conflicts, their appearance is a sign that they are ready to be healed. The violet flame is a gift for this time, a tool of grace made available for all who seek liberation. I invite you now into a simple visualization to anchor this teaching. Close your eyes and imagine yourself standing in a quiet, starlit space. Before you is a gentle violet fire, shimmering with hues of indigo and amethyst. In your hands you hold a scroll upon which is inscribed an old agreement that you are ready to release. You step forward, bow in gratitude to what it taught you, and place the scroll into the flame. As it dissolves, you feel a release in your heart, as though cords that once pulled you backward have fallen away. You stand taller, lighter, attuned to the stillness that follows. In that stillness, you sense a new song beginning to arise within you, a song of freedom and fresh purpose. Return to this visualization whenever you feel the weight of the past pressing upon you. Know that you are supported in this work by countless unseen allies. You are not breaking bonds in isolation, you are participating in a collective clearing that allows all of life to move more freely. As you continue your journey, remember that the reset offered by the violet flame is not a one-time event but an ongoing practice. Each time you notice a pattern that constricts your heart, each time you feel drawn into an old drama, you have the opportunity to bring it into the flame, to allow it to be transmuted. In this way, your life becomes a continuous unfolding of greater freedom. I leave you with this blessing: may the violet flame illumine your path and release the burdens you no longer need to carry. May you honor the lessons of the past without being bound by them. May you discover in the clearing of old contracts the spaciousness to dream anew, to love more deeply, to act more courageously in service to the whole. May your reset be not merely a turning of the page but the dawning of a new chapter written in the ink of wisdom and lit by the radiance of freedom. This is my message to you. I, Zadkiel, walk beside you as you undertake the sacred work of release and transformation. Trust the process. Trust the flame. Trust the truth that as you free yourself, you help free the world, and as the world is freed, the great song of creation can rise in harmony once more.